Seltzer Kings
podcasts.
You're evil.
And that excites you?
It excites me. It terrifies me. I try so hard to resist you, and I can't.
Yeah?
Darn your sinister attraction.
Are you afraid of me?
Yes.
You know I can't bite you.
I think you can. I think you can if I let you. And I want to let you. I want you to bite me and devour me until there's no more.
Like this?
Oh, Spike, devour me.
All right.
Spike, I can't help myself. I love you.
You're mine, Buffy.
Should I start this program over?
Shh.
Howdy there, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Boys Watching Buffy. We're just two boys watching every episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer for the first time, giving our review reactions. We're your hosts. I am Joe Welke.
I'm Vance.
Today we're talking about Season 5, Episode 18, titled Intervention. Directed by Michael Gershman, written by Jane Espenson. Original air date, April 24th, 2001, to an audience of 4.73 million people. And before we get into it, we've got a freaking shout out. This shout out comes our way via Spotify. Got a nice little screenshot sent to my DMs from Jess, aka JD. Thank you for your 5-star Spotify review. Really appreciate that. And if you want to get your own shout out, Apple Podcast 5-star rate and review, or Spotify 5-star rating, screenshot it, send it to my DMs at Joe Welke. And got another little tiny shout out here. I'm going to bust open this fucking Mountain Dew Energy Blast, Baja Blast, courtesy of Tofu. Thanks, Tofu.
Tofu lover.
Tofu lover. Big fan. I've yet to drop him off to Vance, his half of these.
He's hoarding them. I'm drinking a coffee because of that. Like some noob.
Yeah. Some kind of caffeine frickin' noob. What, you never heard of frickin' Mountain Dew Baja Blast Energy? It's 2 cups of coffee, you jerk.
You jerk.
What were our predictions for this episode last time?
Oh man, I meant to re-listen to those and figure it. That was the thing I wanted to do last night.
I think one of us predicted, I think it was you, that it was Glory is intervening and capturing Dawn because she figures out that Dawn's the...
Yeah, I do believe my prediction was something to do with Glory figuring out something, or something with Glory and her brother. It had something to do with Glory doing something.
Yeah.
I don't think I nailed it at all.
I don't remember what mine was, but I don't think that I nailed it either. But
yeah, I don't think any of us predicted the... what are you calling this? On IMDb, they call it Buffybot. I was calling it Sex Robot Buffy or Robot Buffy.
I put Robo Buffy.
Okay.
In my notes.
Yeah.
Buffybot is good though too.
Yeah, I saw that on IMDb after I watched the episode, and I was like, "Yeah, Buffybot's the way to go."
Yeah,
that's
so much better than Robo Buffy.
Yeah,
dang it. Should we just call it Buffy? My notes are.
If you can handle saying Buffybot, because I know how you're such a slave to your notes.
I really am. It's gonna be tough.
You need to do find and replace.
Yeah.
Just like I can't do it. I can't change it. I can't change it to Buffybot. It's already been typed.
I'll try to start with Buffybot and then just phase into Robo Buffy as the episode goes on.
I'm waiting to the inevitable point where you stumble over it and you're like, fuck it, I'm just calling it whatever's in my notes. I can't do this.
Ro Buffy. Did you like Intervention? Did you like this one?
Yeah, I think I liked it. I like the show. Yeah, this is good.
I just the way the pacing of this season's so weird, like because they're answering something that was established, and we asked, like, are they ever going to do anything with that robot guy?
Oh, I knew
Buffy?
that robot was coming back. I didn't expect it to come back for this. It's such a fun. Buffy's mom dying is bookended by these like sex robot episodes, and it's so funny.
Yeah, dude, that's what I'm saying.
They're like
So
sex robot,
weird.
sad sex robot doubles.
Yeah, that's the only issue. I mean, otherwise, I think it's a pretty fun episode.
You gotta phase out of it somehow.
Yeah.
I will say this: Sarah Michelle Gellar is just continually impressing me as an actor.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
They get real. I mean, the difference between season 1 and now is big.
Like I feel like if we had the Halloween episode now, I think she would have played that princess character way better. I felt like that was the one. I felt like that was the one time when she was like playing a different character that she didn't really like. She wasn't really nailing it, you know. But this, she's playing the robot Buffy and the Buffybot, and her version's really great.
Oh, you can't even keep it straight.
Oh, I'll get it.
All right.
That's the challenge. We have our inner challenge for the podcast.
Yeah. Take a shot every time and we fuck it up. You're all gonna die.
Maybe a drink. Maybe a drink, not a shot. Because you're gonna.
Also check out our Patreon, patreon.com/Boys Watching Buffy. We do Boys Watching Angel there, and Boys Watching Movies. We just did the Barbie movie. A lot of chatter on the Barbie movie. But yeah.
A lot of Barbie takes. I wouldn't say hot takes, but just takes.
Yeah. All right, let's get into the episode here. This episode starts off with a season 5 recap, basically.
Yeah.
Just everything up until now. Glory finding out that the key is a human. Dawn figuring out that she's the key. Dr. Intern Ben spilling the beans to Jinx that it's a person, and Jinx telling Glory. Spike being in love with Buffy. Spike waking up from a dream. Spike wanting the robot of Buffy. Joyce's death. Like everything.
Yeah, I was watching that. I was like, so anything's gonna happen in this episode. Like,
yeah, dude. Like, I'm surprised they didn't throw in O'Reilly not being around anymore.
I kind of get it because it was the month between the death episode, or between Made to Love You and The Body, right?
Yeah.
And now it's like almost a month and a half, almost 2 months since you watched that episode. So yeah, you need this recap.
So the episode starts off with Giles, Buffy, and Dawn doing dishes, and it's all cute. They got their own little new family type of deal going on. Giles asks how she's doing, and Buffy's like, things are getting back to normal. I mean, it's still weird. We're still missing my mom, but we're holding up, but it's going to take time. And Giles is like, yeah, that's true. Everything does take time, and time heals all wounds. But like, when are you going to get back to training already?
What is she
They're still
training
vampires.
for? Didn't this season start out with her being like, I want to know more about myself?
Mm-hmm. It started out with like, I want to go and learn all about what it's like and what being a Slayer really means, because I had a vision quest where I was hanging out with the first Slayer and we all formed our bodies together and harnessed the power, but then we all had nightmares about it, and I needed to know what it meant.
Well, Dracula is what really triggered it. I think it was like a combination of Restless and that Dracula episode where it was like, Dracula was telling us like, you got more power and darkness than you. I guess the darkness stuff carries over, but like, yeah, the darkness stuff. But like, she hasn't really this season been on a journey of discovery, I wouldn't say.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I mean, not in that sense. She
Yes.
has been on a journey of discovery, but like not in the like I need to find out what being a Slayer means type of journey of discovery.
Exactly.
But so Giles is like, so when are you gonna come back and train? When are you gonna punch Puffy Fat Xander again? And Buffy's like, yeah, I think I'm gonna take a break, dude. And Giles is like, take a break? You're the Slayer. We've already established this 100,000 times throughout this entire series. And Buffy's like, yeah, but I'm worried now because I'm worried that being a Slayer is making me like, I don't like what it's doing to me. Like, I'm not as, it's hardened me. I'm not as open to love and loving things. And like, I feel like I don't have feelings anymore. And I feel like I'm turning into the Wish universe, Buffy, basically.
Yeah, I mean, you've always brought up that she doesn't say love, and this is it. So, yeah, good catch early on.
I think that she does talk about like the only person I loved was Angel, but that was 3 seasons ago. Like,
well, she says I love you to Giles, right? And it's like weird. Or does he say that? Yeah, and it's like she's trying to force it out. She's like, it burns my tongue.
And she feels bad because she wasn't there for Riley or Dawn and all this shit. And she doesn't think that her mom realized how much she loved her because she wasn't ever around to really tell her, and she never really expressed it to Joyce and all that stuff.
And when she body switched with Faith, she promised to spend more time with her, but then she didn't.
And Giles is like, oh, okay, well, it sounds like you're having this weird conflict. Well, you know, the Watcher journals have a little tale of this vision quest that you can go on. It's in the desert. And Buffy's like, I don't want to go to the fucking desert, dude. I don't want to leave Dawn. And then Dawn overhears it and she's like, I think you should go on your vision quest, Buffy. And Buffy is like, Dawn, if you think that you'll be okay, I'll go on the vision quest. But before I go on the vision quest, I love you. And I want you to know that I love you. And Dawn's like, I love you too. Buffy's like, no, I really love you, Dawn. And Dawn's like, it's getting fucking weird, dude.
You're creeping me out, Buff. Giles, you've been sitting on this information all season.
Right? He should have said that like when Buffy was like, I need to learn what it's like to be, when she was asking him, I need you around. I need you to teach me about being a Slayer.
Like, what have they been doing? He's like, you want to punch? You want to go to the dojo and punch some more? She's like, no, I want to learn about the actual, like, history of Slayers. He's like, kick this ball.
Xander, get over here.
Yeah, Xander,
wear this big fat suit. It will double as making you humiliated because you're wearing a stupid outfit. And you're also going to get beat up by Buffy.
Yeah. And
it's a win-win for Giles.
We never know when another Balthazar will show up.
Yeah. Good old Balthazar, dude.
Yeah. You know what got me here? When Buffy's like, I don't know. I don't feel safe leaving Dawn here by herself. And they're like, we'll watch over. I'm like, one, you guys can't beat up Glory. Buffy can't even beat up Glory. Leave town. They reference it later. They're like, oh, we might need to leave town. Dawn, sleep over somewhere else. Get out of Sunnydale. It's a small town. Drive 5 miles any direction.
Yeah. Go to LA, hang out with Angel and Investigations.
Yeah.
You know?
Who would be better to protect her than Angel?
I was waiting. I think it was last episode. I was waiting for Angel to be like, who the fuck is Dawn? Like when Buffy mentions Dawn, I was waiting for, huh? Oh, right. I have a fake sister now.
The dad has not come back yet.
Nope. Hasn't called.
Like, yeah. You're not going to check in on your daughters, dude?
How are they affording anything?
Yeah, maybe
what's
next
Giles's...
episode.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, Giles got that Watcher raise, so.
Yeah, and he is owning the magic shop.
Yeah, owning the magic shop and got back pay for a year, so he definitely owes that to Buffy.
Yeah, all right.
Call the Watchers up and say, hey, Watchers, pay me. I'm going to die soon anyway, so.
Yeah, strike.
It's perfect. It's one person.
Yeah. So after this scene, we go to Spike with the robot Buffy, Buffybot. I forget the guy's name that makes the robots. Warren is there. He's like, yeah, there's your Buffybot, dude. There you go. That's what you wanted, right? And Spike's like, yeah, but I'm not satisfied yet. Does this Buffybot have all of the special skills that I asked you to include? And even Warren, who is a creep, was like, yeah, dude, it's got the special skills. Like, he's like, you fucking weirdo.
Warren, who is a creep, but a fucking genius, dude.
Dude, he made this.
What? Like, I need to see him find the April robot and, like, use her for parts. Like, where did he get this? That box of stuff that Spike hands him is like the worst looking wig. There's no face. And the dude made a Buffy based off of a headshot. Like, fully proportional.
Yeah.
Like, he's only met Buffy.
How did he get her voice down?
I know we talked about this a ton in that episode with April, but it is insane how accurate that he's making these. And he made it in his living room, and he's leaving his parents' house. He left a vampire and a robot in his parents' house.
Yeah. And Spike is like, I'm not sad. I need to make sure that this Buffy robot is as good as I hope it's going to be. And then the Buffy robot wakes up and she's like, Spike. And she runs over to him and kisses him. And then he looks over at Warren. And he's like, I'm satisfied. Like, ugh.
My note goes, oh boy. They should build robot. They should get Warren to build an army of slave bots to fight and patrol at night.
Yeah, dude. Keep this dude around, especially after what we see later on in the episode. I mean, how do you not do that?
April almost killed Buffy.
Yeah.
Robots are better. Robots are better
How does
than
he
Slayers.
Afford to do this?
I don't know.
Like, he has to buy all of these parts somewhere. They're not just hanging out in a scrapyard.
Oh my gosh, guys, stop thinking about it. It doesn't matter. It's like Buffy's been complaining. People complain about not having money and things this whole show. Xander goes on a whole rant. Anya gets a job because she likes money. But we gotta ask how this guy is building lifelike robots.
Like, legitimately, like, 1-to-1. Which one do I shoot?
Yeah.
Like,
this guy's a genius.
So then we have the intro, and we come back, and Glory is laying on her sofa, and she is pissed because she's losing control of Ben. She can't control him anymore. He stabbed Jinx, and she's worried she's not working with her. Ben's not working with her anymore, and time is running out, and that they share a body. So I know we've basically had that confirmed, but now they have specifically say it.
I thought the same thing. I was like, oh yeah, they're definitely sharing a body. I'm like, oh yeah, we obviously know that. But every time it comes up, I'm like, oh, there it is.
Yeah. No, they confirm.
We've seen them body switch. We've seen them morph. And this line, I'm like, oh, she admitted it.
Yeah. And all the Jinxes. I've now just called these people the Jinxes.
Okay, well, that's an upgrade from you calling them the Dregs.
Yeah, well, Dreg's dead, so now they're all the Jinxes.
I call them minions.
Jinx and the Jinxes.
Yeah. Jinx is a great name for a minion.
Yeah, he is. But yeah, Glory is she's like, I can't believe it. Like, Ben is now like an enemy. He's working against us. He stabbed Jinx. I don't like what this is doing to all of us. And I think that the Key and the Slayer are connected. They have to be, because why is she fighting me? She would be the one to protect the Key. So she knows what's up. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to have a good old stalk fest. And we're going to stalk the Slayer and find out all the people that she's close to. We're going to try and figure out which one of these people is the key. Because whoever she's protecting has got to be the key. And all the Jinxes are like, oh yes, Miss Glorificus. We love your plans. You're so great. She's like, I know. Little hair toss.
Did Glory forget her threat to Buffy to kill everyone around her until Buffy tells her? Like, why is she now playing the subtle game?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Like,
just grab them and kill them.
Yeah, just be like, oh, you guys are all at the magic shop. I'm just gonna go in there and I'm just gonna kill one. Look at Buffy, be like, who? Kill another one. Who? Like, just
is this the key? Stab. Nope, guess not.
Yeah.
Is this the key? Stab. Guess not.
Yeah. If you kill everyone around them, then yeah, one of them.
Plus, you know, it'd be nice to freshen up the cast a little. Get a new Scooby gang going.
That season 6 poster, just like a confused Buffy with a bunch of random people. It's like Saved by the Bell, the new class or whatever. Buffy's in grad school in Connecticut.
You can take the girl out of Sunnydale, but you can't take the Sunnydale out of the girl.
Stab. I don't know what that was.
She starts to try and cover up vampires again.
Yeah. Just like, wait, they've been vampires here this whole time and I've been in California not doing anything about it?
There's a new Slayer in town.
Have you seen the new girl? She's kind of weird.
Oh, yeah.
Killer moves, Buffy. I could do this all day.
I love it. But there's something they don't know about her.
What was that?
We do this for ourselves.
Yeah.
Thanks for the 5-star reviews, everybody.
Just a 15-minute bit of a fake trailer.
So Giles drives Buffy to the desert in his convertible.
That was so funny. Because he says, I can't go with you, right? Or something, you have to have a different guide, but then he pulls up to the desert in his red convertible.
Well, what confused me even more is they can get out of the car.
Mm-hmm.
They're in the desert, which, you know, they just had spring break. The desert's a hot place. Buffy's wearing a trench coat and a turtleneck. Giles is wearing a turtleneck and a like sport coat over top. Like, what? Again, what's the weather like in this place?
No, I had the same initial feeling, and then I was like, that was smart to have them dress like this. Because if you know anything about the desert, at night it gets real cold.
Fair. Yeah, I didn't realize this was going to be a multiple day scenario.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, oh, why are they dressed like that for the day? But then when it was night and she's sitting outside, I was like, oh yeah, they pre-dressed for the night shoot. Yeah. And I don't know when they're filming this, but it's probably... when did this come out?
Came out April 24th.
April 24th. Yeah. I mean, it's still going to get chilly outside.
Yeah.
I think, but yeah.
So Giles, he needs to do a spell to transfer his watchership to a spirit guide or something.
I didn't... This is an interesting joke, but I didn't understand. Buffy didn't have a watcher for a while. So what is this connection that he has? Like,
I don't know.
That I have to transfer my watcherness to you. Like that, there's not like a tie. We've never shown like, oh my God, Buffy's hurt. I feel it because I'm tied to her through some link.
Yeah.
It was like, you're just a guy.
Yeah. So then he makes a circle with some sticks, and he lights a little fire, and he's got his gourd thing, and Buffy's just roasting him the whole time. He's like, this is so stupid, dude. You're so lame. Giles is like, I'm trying to help you. You asked me to help you, and I'm trying. And she's like, yeah, but now you're shaking your gourd, and you're hopping in and out of a circle. Is this the hokey pokey?
Yeah. And then we see Giles do it, and it's funny.
It is funny. It is a goofy looking spell.
Yeah.
But what isn't goofy looking in this whole fucking thing, you know?
I'll tell you what's not goofy looking. This is Buffybot.
Right? Which, speaking of, Spike is now fighting the Buffybot at his little crypt. And they're fighting, and Buffy kind of gets the better of him for a second, but then he turns it around on her and he grabs her, and she's like, oh, Spike, I can't overpower you. You're so powerful and strong and evil and sexy, though. And Spike's like, oh, yeah? And Buffybot's like, yeah, and I can't get enough of you. And they start making out. And I was like, geez, dude.
I love that he chipped the Buffybot. Like, the Buffybot can't kill him.
Yeah.
And I mean, I wouldn't have tested that out right away because I don't trust Warren at all. Like,
No, I don't either.
Warren's like, I could just program her to kill any vampire. As soon as I turn it on, she's going to stab him. Like,
Yeah.
that's it.
Like, Spike wasn't around watching him make it.
No.
And even if he was,
He don't know.
Spike doesn't know robots.
Nobody knows any of this technology except for, I guess,
Except
Willow,
for Willow.
somehow. Fucking, that was some nonsense.
But yeah, Spike and the Buffybot are making out and all that jazz. And Giles is still doing a spell, and Buffy wanders off.
Wait.
She sees a mount.
I wanted to go back to Spike goes down on Buffybot. It looks like, right?
Yeah, you think so?
Well, he's like making out with her, and he like she's on her back, and then he starts to go lower in the frame and disappears, right?
You think Spike got electrocuted down there?
I was just like, this is interesting. What a generous lover to do that to a
Kudos to you, Spike.
Yeah, I was like, all right.
I don't remember that part specifically, but if it does go down that way, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
But Spike, he got a sex robot made to like pleasure him, and he's trying to get the robot off.
Yeah, and it's like, what is going to be down there? You're going to get a close-up view of it. Maybe he wants to check it out. Like, that is crazy.
How accurate is
that? Is
Warren
crazy.
making this?
Yeah. he can't make it accurate at all because he hasn't seen it.
Yeah.
But is it just like a generic, like one of those like sex, those like
a
those porn
fleshlight?
star, like like a fleshlight, or those porn stars that like get it molded?
Or like the mold?
Yeah. Like, does he have a generic one that he uses?
Yeah.
What is he basing that off of it? Because he was.
Who did he get to volunteer to be the vagina model
Yeah.
for the Buffybot?
I don't know, man. These are the real questions people need to ask.
I know. Yeah. Oh, what was the cat in the dream? Oh, little sis is coming in the dream sequence. Oh, yeah. How did he get that vagina on the Buffybot? Who was the mold?
Yeah.
So, yeah, Giles is doing his spell in the desert, and Buffy wanders off, and she comes across like a mountain lion. And she's like, oh, hello, kitty. And then she starts following the mountain lion.
Is that the cat?
I was wondering. That's what I was wondering when I saw it. I was like, oh, is that it?
Wasn't the cat black-ish?
I think it was gray and black.
Yeah. If this was like a black cougar instead of like a
panther or something.
Yeah. Then I would be like, oh, that has to be the cat, right? But
yeah,
she does say hello, kitty, which is crazy, because I know if I'm hallucinating in the desert and I see a mountain lion walking towards me, I'm not just like, oh, hey.
Yeah. Buffy's a chill tripper.
Yeah.
You want to do ayahuasca with Buffy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But she follows this mountain lion, and it leads her to like a rock, and she just sits on the rock. She looks around. She's like, wait a minute. I know this place. I had a dream about this place. Didn't I last season?
Where's Tara?
Yeah. She's right here. Tara's setting up a warning spell at Xander's apartment to protect and warn Dawn and Anya and Xander if any kind of evildoers show up.
What is that going to do? If Glory shows up and she could walk, you don't have an escape plan. You're in an apartment building.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I'd like that we do get to see more of Xander's apartment, which just keeps getting more and more awesome.
Yeah.
Like, his apartment's awesome.
Yeah, that's the place that everyone would hang out. I mean, maybe you'd hang out at Buffy's house now because it's no parental supervision and it's a full house.
Yeah.
And Buffy's there.
You know,
and
to
Buffy's
comfort
there.
Buffy.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, I want to be around Buffy or I don't want to be around Buffy. It's two options.
But yeah, Xander's like, so this will help, right? If like anything crazy happens. And Tara's like, yeah, but I'm gonna be real with you, dude. I'm not as good of a witch as Willow anymore. Like, I used to be more powerful, but Willow has blown past me like so fast. It's crazy.
When you said that, it made me think about that moment when they thought Willow had turned into a vampire. And Giles was like, she was the best of us or something. They took Willow turning into a vampire in stride. Like, they were emotional, but like they were like, oh, that sucks. All right. Like,
yeah.
She did not get the body treatment when they thought she was a vampire.
No one mourned her.
It was a moment of silence.
Yeah. But Anya's like, I want to watch TV. Xander's like, I think we should go out and patrol tonight. And Dawn is there, and she's like looking at a pair of earrings that are like on this like side table, and she walks over and just jacks them. She just steals these earrings.
This is going to be my like least favorite tropey aspect of what's happening with that, because they kind of did a little bit of this in Breaking Bad, where one of the characters' wives started getting in, like she was like a klepto. She started stealing stuff, and that was her like go-to when things got rough, you know?
Okay.
And it doesn't really go.
It's like her trauma response is steal shit.
Yeah, and I didn't realize this was Dawn's trauma response until the later scene when they're talking about Buffy's trauma response to it. When they think she's doing something awful. And they're like, I would do something awful. And I was like, oh, that's what Dawn's doing. Dawn's like reaching out and stealing stuff. And this happens in Succession. The show Succession, there's a little moment where the character just starts like, I mean, the guy's super rich and he's just like stealing batteries from a deli and just throwing them in the trash. Just like, you know, like, so.
Just to do it.
Yeah. Just to get that little dopamine rush. But yeah.
But I like rewound it because I was like, did she really fucking steal those earrings? Like,
because this is Buffy, I could see those earrings being enchanted with some type of weirdness.
Dude, I rewound it once to be like, did she actually steal those earrings? And then I was like, okay, she did steal them. Then I rewound it again because I was like, are these like special earrings that I'm forgetting? Is this like Drusilla's earrings? Are these Miss Edith's earrings? Like, I don't want to fucking forget anything and get yelled at.
We have feelings and they hurt. We do get validated from something that we did in the first ever episode of Boys Watching Buffy later.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. You'll have to bring that up.
Oh, okay.
But while they're all discussing like, yeah, I want to watch TV. Willow doesn't want to watch that Discovery Channel documentary about the Salem witch trials because it's mean to witches. And all
well,
this
she
shit.
wants to watch it, but it's going to make her upset.
Oh, it's going to make her upset.
Because she's watching it later.
I was there. Yeah. Like Anya's like, I was there. It really wasn't that bad. Honestly, like if you did a spell, like you could just easily escape. It wasn't a bad thing. But like if you didn't do a spell, yeah, you definitely got killed.
Yeah, it was really bad for the non-witches that couldn't escape because they would just burn. Like, this is the stuff Anya's just saying casually about people dying, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all the while all of this is happening, Dawn stealing shit, them talking about witches burning, there's a Jinx watching from the window just outside, just casually spying in on them.
So he's on the first floor, or this guy can fly?
I think he's on the first floor.
Yeah.
He's got to be on the first floor.
I think did they? I
Is
guess
he
we never.
on-
We've
he
seen the
on-
hallway, but we never saw like if he had to take an elevator or stairs or anything.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna guess it's on the first floor. Fucking Xander's got a patio. I don't know if that's later on in the episode, but he's got like a balcony. I was like, bro, this is so nice.
Yeah, I mean,
Love it.
yeah,
Anyway,
yeah. They're the two people that have jobs. Him and Anya.
fair. Who knows what rent was back
I
then
wonder-
in Sunnydale?
I wonder if Anya moved in or if she still has her own place.
Good question. I think that if Anya had moved in,
It would be a
wouldn't have
whole
been
episode.
Oh yeah, it wouldn't have been decorated the way it's decorated. You know?
She's so like submissive to Xander. I don't think she. It's weird. Like when it comes to Xander, she doesn't really have like strong like opinions on stuff.
Fair.
Yeah.
So then we go to Spike and Buffybot in post-sex cuddling on the hard floor of the crypt. And Buffy is like, "Oh, Spike, you're so hot. You're so awesome. I want you to devour me." And Spike's like, "Yeah? You want me to bite you?" She's like, "Yeah, bite me." And Spike's like this. And he bites her and she's like, "Oh, Spike." And I was like, God damn, dude, this is getting real weird.
It would be amazing if like sparks flew and he got electrocuted.
I thought that like when he bit her, it was going to be like clink. You know what I mean? Something like that, like chink. That would have been hilarious.
I love Spike's post-sex bedhead. It's so good.
Honestly, it does look pretty rad.
It's such a funny, like it's all like just tussled and spiked up. Yeah.
It's very Billy Idol.
Yeah.
Like real spiky. But then robot Buffybot says that she loves Spike, and Spike's like, "That's all I've wanted to hear. I've written so many poems about you. You want to hear them?"
That would have been amazing if he was reading poetry to her.
Yeah, none of that. So then we have a weird scene of Willow leaving school, and she's talking to some guy, and she's loaning her notes to him or something to study from, and she turns a corner and she's being stalked by one of the Jinxes. And
I mean, her walking around this corner, I was like, she's gonna get robbed. Like,
yeah,
like you
take
guys,
away vampires.
you know, vampires exist in this world, and demons and glories around, and you're like, I'm just casually walking. It's like,
Turn down this dark alleyway.
remember when Pedro Pascal when she was first in college, and Buffy was first in college, and Pedro Pascal meets her, and he turns the corner and gets killed by vampires, like immediately. Like, there's no safe spot.
What was his name? Eddie?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't a big named actor at the time, so
Yeah.
they were just like, all right, we'll kill him off. They killed him off so quick. He turned into a vampire and got staked immediately.
Yeah. So then we have Spike asleep in his crypt, and Buffybot's like, "All right," she's putting her clothes back on. "All right, I'm gonna go out to slay now." Spike's like in a half sleep stupor, like, "Yeah, sure, we'll do whatever." So then
I wanted to
We
bring up Xander and mentions, "Oh, I guess we'll go on patrol tonight." And Anya's like, I kind of wanted to stay in, right? Like, they didn't talk about that yet. And now Buffy going on patrol, I was like, oh, this should be interesting.
yeah,
And also,
I
sure, it's a robot.
think
Go
it's
on patrol.
funny. Yeah, I think it's funny that like Spike had it programmed to like want to go out and on patrol. You know,
Yeah. Like,
what were the notes that he gave to Warren?
Yeah. Oh man, yeah.
Anyway, so Giles sipping on some tea in the desert, and Buffy's still on the rock. And then Buffybot, out on patrol, runs into Xander and Anya while she's patrolling. And Buffybot is like way too chipper. She's talking to Xander and Anya. They're like, Buff, I didn't expect you to be back so soon. How was the vision quest? And she's like, I'm out on patrol. And they're like, yeah, we see that. I just didn't expect you to be back so fast. And she's like, yeah, well, I'm here. Anyway, I'm on patrol. And they're like, what's going on here? What? Also, these clothes don't seem like clothes that you'd normally wear. This is a little weird. And then Spike hurriedly shows up and he's like, oh, yeah, me and Buffy here, we're out on patrol. There's a bunch of vampires out tonight. Yeah, there's bad news. You guys should probably leave. You should go away because there's a bunch of vampires and you don't want to be, you don't want any part of this shit.
Which my point is, they don't. I don't get it. I don't get patrol at all on this show. I know it's just this thing that they like to do, and they can have fight scenes in the graveyards and the cemeteries. But most of the time when I see vampires do bad things, it's outside of the bronze. It's random places. Like, yeah. Why would vampires even be at the graveyard, especially if they're not just coming out of the grave? And if it's that case, you can just like look at the obituaries and the funeral schedules.
Yeah, I mean, you know who hangs out at graveyards at night? Nobody. There's no victims for vampires to get
unless
in
it's
the graveyard.
Unless it's like teens that are underage drinking and are sneaking in.
I never got that.
I mean, it happens. I mean,
I know
it's not.
Does it though? Does it or does it happen?
It happened.
Movies?
It happened in movies, so it happened in real life.
I don't think I've known anyone.
People just go to a field, but because there's no fields in Sunnydale, since it's 90% cemeteries and churches.
Yeah, all the fields are filled with dead bodies.
Yeah, it's like all cemeteries. So it's like, which gravestone you want to drink at tonight?
There's that one park where Spike and Giles were swinging together. And
I don't think that was a real park.
Dawn sees that park later. And
we talked about
memories.
That. It was like that looked like a little field. It wasn't like.
I think that was the same park.
All right.
Whatever.
No, because that one had a sandbox too in that park. That's why it's like fake. There wasn't a giant sandbox that like baby Buffy was playing in.
So yeah, Spike's warning them to go home. And he's like, yeah, it's real crazy out tonight. Tons of vampires. You don't want to be here. And then self-fulfilling prophecy, a bunch of vampires just turn a corner and they show. And Spike's like, God damn it.
How were Anya and Xander going to fight these three vampires by themselves?
I mean, pretty handily. I mean, Anya stakes a vampire during this fight scene.
Xander is on his back and has to kick one off, and it like stumbles back towards Anya, and she stabs it.
Meanwhile, not in the heart either.
Like in the back, just like
she stabs it in the back, like not anywhere where the heart is.
She stabbed him in the back in the same spot that Spike took an arrow from Harmony.
Yes, dude.
But anyway,
what I'm saying.
But anyway, I don't think if all three of them were there, I don't think Xander and Anya could handle that. And if that's the case, we don't need the Slayer.
Yeah. We need more robot Slayers because robot Buffy is just like, she stakes some vampire.
She stakes a vampire and tosses.
Spike stakes one.
Yeah. But without Spike and the robot there, I think those three vampires I think Anya and Xander fucked.
Yeah. So after all the vampires are staked, Spike tells Xander and Anya, like, hey, you guys should head home now. You guys, that's good enough. I think that's all of them. That's all the vampires in Sunnydale.
Good job. You did your patrolling tonight. You walk around, you kill 3 random vampires, and then you go home. Good job. The world is saved. Yeah. Sunnydale is saved.
And all the while, like, Buffybot is like trying to hug Spike, and Spike's like trying to avoid suspicion and like pushing her off. And then so Xander and Anya are leaving the graveyard and they're talking. They're like, that was kind of weird, right? And Anya's like, weird, why? And Xander's like, it's weird because Buffy and Spike are out on patrol together, but Buffy hates Spike. what's going on? And also, I forgot to mention, during the fight scene, there's Jinxes watching from afar.
Mm-hmm.
And after Xander and Anya are talking about, like, yeah, this is weird because Buffy hates Spike.
Well, it's less Buffy hates Spike. It's Buffy never asked about Dawn.
Oh, right. That too. So then we cut to, like, Spike and Buffybot kissing. They're like, oh, I was so worried about you. He's like, oh, yeah, you're so awesome. And they smooch. And then Xander and Anya are talking a little bit more. And they're like, man, I wish that Giles would have told us that they were back already. Like, this is really weird. They normally are a lot better at communicating this kind of stuff. And then they hear what the closed captions describe as pleasure moaning.
Yeah. It's a different sound than displeasure moaning.
Yep. And Xander turns around and he sees Robot Buffy just straight up riding Spike in the middle of the graveyard.
Yep.
Fully clothed, cowgirling on that vampire.
Yeah. I mean, this is what she would have done with Riley. They get turned on by slaying.
That is true. We saw that montage.
That was a weird. That was the worst one ever.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Yeah.
So then we go back to Xander's apartment where Willow and Tara are watching the Salem witch trial documentary. And Willow's like, this is bullshit. This is so stupid. And Tara's like, I told you weren't going to like it. Anya and Xander come back and they're like, we got to tell you guys something crazy that just happened. And they're like, what? And they're like, it's nuts. Shut off the TV. And so I'm like, okay, well, what is it? What is it? And then Xander's like, we just saw Buffy boinking Spike. And Tara's like, I mean, there are crazier things that people do as a trauma response. Or no, Tara's like,
Tara's saying, she does. I did a lot of weird things when my mom died. Like, so.
Yeah. And then Xander goes, yeah, they're boinking. And then she's like, oh, Buffy's gone nuts.
Yeah. And Willow's still trying to, like, rationalize it. And Tara's like, no.
Nah, she lost it.
That might be my favorite Tara moment of ever, actually.
Yeah. I think somebody recently on Discord asked, like, so what do you think of Tara now? It's like, this is the first bit of personality that we've seen from Tara, really. You know?
Yeah. It's the most confident I've seen her deliver something. Like, and anytime she delivers a joke, it's like, she looks around like, is it funny? Do the Scoobies accept me yet? But this one, she's like, no, Buffy's a fucking lunatic.
Buffy's lost it. We got to find Xander's like, all right. Before we jump to too many conclusions here, I'm going to try and find Buffy and talk to her, all right? I'm going to figure this out.
I don't think Xander's trying to figure it out. I think he's just going to confront her. Like, he saw it. Like, he saw it happen. There's no, like, blind spot in him. He's not like, maybe something's not what I think it is. Yeah.
Here's a question for you. If you're Xander and Anya, and you see Buffy and Spike banging in the graveyard, how long are you watching?
Not long.
To confirm.
I don't think
I would need to, like, double take, squint my eyes, and be like, is that really happening?
Why would you?
Bust out the binoculars.
Yeah, that seems like it seems like you want to be back with the dregs and the minions and the jinxes. Like, you're over their shoulder like, hey, what I miss?
Xander, like, nudges one of the jinxes. Fucking crazy, right?
Someone pulls up some popcorn.
What the fuck's going on down there?
Another vampire comes up and he's about to bite a neck and he's like, oh, wait, what are we watching?
Dude, you see that? That's a Slayer fucking a vampire down there.
Yeah. Go
That
Spike.
vampire's like, that vampire's like, let me try and get on that action.
Oh, so that's how you defeat the Slayer.
You slay her.
Yeah, I don't think it'd take me a while. I would be like, oh, God, no.
I definitely do a double take and squint my eyes and be like, oh, my God.
Even after hearing pleasurable moaning.
Pleasure moaning.
And you would do that with your girlfriend standing next to you. You'd stare extra long.
I'd nudge my girlfriend and be like, "You seen this? Is this for real? Am I seeing this?"
If
right?
she was like, "Yeah, and we should get out of here," you'd be like, No, I don't trust you anymore. I need to leave.
We need to get closer to confirm.
You're not wearing your glasses. I mean, you don't know what you're seeing.
Let me take out my phone and record this so we can. Oh man, yeah. So Xander's gonna try and find Buffy to confront her and figure some shit out why she's doing this. Then we go to real Buffy, who is asleep on a rock, and she wakes up because there's a fire burning and all this stuff, and she sees the first Slayer again on the other side of the fire. And she's like, "Oh yeah, you, I remember you. Still haven't worked on your hair care routine, I see."
Oh yeah, that line was so bad. I wish you would have given her shit for that.
Yeah. Yeah, the first Slayer's like, you look like shit.
You're overdressed.
Yeah. So then we go back to Spike with Robot Buffy and in his crypt, and he hears somebody approaching in his crypt, and he's like, "Robot Buffy, go into the fucking basement."
Go to the second floor of the crypt. Go to the west wing of the crypt.
And don't come out until I say so. And Buffybot's like, "All right, aye, Captain." So then she goes down there, and Xander shows up, and he's like, "Hey, listen, Spike, I don't know what you're up to with Buffy, man, but like, shit's fucked up, and I feel like you're taking advantage of Buffy because she's going through some real hard stuff. And I think that's pretty fucked up that you're doing that." And Spike's like, "She's a grown adult. She can do whatever she wants." He's smoking his post-sex cigarette with his post-sex hair. And then Xander gets all serious, and he just like grabs him by the collar, shoves him up against the wall. And Xander's like, "Don't fuck with me, and don't fuck with Buffy, dude. You're not our friends. All right? I don't know why we don't stake you."
Yeah. We continually say that you being around is causing problems, but we can't. I can't quit you.
We continually ask ourselves and you, why don't we stake you? What's stopping me? And then as he's about to like beat up Spike quite a bit, the Jinxes show up. They interrupt things and they punch Xander, and then they start punching Spike. Spike starts to fight back. Xander gets up again. He starts to fight back, but then they just knock Xander out. They send him flying across the room, knock him out. He gets the Giles treatment. Spike's actually kind of like holding his own until they swarm him, and then they're like, "We're taking you away because Glory wants you."
Yeah, I didn't know how strong they were, and it's hard to gauge because the only time we saw them fight was the Knights of the Byzantium, which they got housed by.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they were doing it all right, but like they got handled by them.
And we saw Buffy take down like 5 of those Knights by herself. I just don't know. I don't know. I just don't understand how you go out patrolling Anya and Xander with one stake, with the one stake between the two of you. Like, what is your plan if you run into a gang of vampires?
I just want to see more custom stakes. Like I don't like these lame ass just regular old stakes.
What do you want a custom one that looks like?
I want different types of wooden weapons that are pointy. Wooden sword, wooden stakes that are like custom, like the Chinese one with like a hilt or like a handle. Like I want to see some real dope stuff. Yeah. But I mean, vampires are so easy to kill when you need to. They just like stand there. True. Like the one that Spike kills, it's just like bent over waiting for him to catch the stake. I was watching, I was like, 1,000. 2 1,000. Not putting up a fight. 3 1,000. Okay. But yeah, so the Jinxes take Spike away because they're gonna give him the glory, and yeah,
Yeah, I figured
So
I figured that was gonna happen right when she was like, find out who he's close to. I was like, oh yeah, they're gonna see him, Spike.
So then we go back to Buffy in the desert, the real Buffy in the desert.
Why would Buffy be fucking the kitty? Right? The dregs were there.
I didn't think about that.
They were there.
That's hilarious.
Why would she?
Wow, she's not using protection to protect the key. Let me tell you that.
Because they were there watching the fight. Did they see the fight and they were like, "Oh, fight's over, we're out"? Because they have sex like immediately after that. Like Xander and Anya barely walk away.
That's hilarious.
Why?
I did not think about that. That's such a good point.
Oh, she really loves the kitty.
Gloria, let me tell you, it's gonna be tough for you to get between Buffy and the key because the key's inside of Buffy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Can the key transfer? Is it a?
Can the key impregnate the Slayer? Are we gonna have like a mini key?
A key birth? Oh my god.
Oh god. But yeah, then we go back to real Buffy in the desert with the first Slayer, and the first Slayer's talking all this cryptic bullshit about like, oh, I'm just a form, and what you're seeing isn't really me. I'm just like a hallucination for you. And Buffy's like, what about love? Can the Slayer love? And the first Slayer's like, you're full of love, dude. Are you kidding me? You're like brimming with love. Like you're worried that you're being the Slayer means you're losing your humanity. Girl. You got so much love in your soul. It's blinding. And Buffy's like, oh, that's good. And then the first Slayer's like, but you're rejecting love. And that's what's making you so miserable, is that you're not accepting and you're rejecting love. But you need to accept the love in order to bring you your gift, or love will bring you your gift.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, dude, what is all this bullshit? Like, I'll get the fuck out of here with this cryptic bullshit, dude.
My favorite part of this is it's cryptic, and then Buffy goes, huh? What? Like, and it's exactly like when Warren's like, hey, April, something you don't know about her. She's a robot. And she's like, uh-huh. Like, it has that same vibe of like, what are you talking about?
Just fucking spell it out for me like I'm 5. All right, please.
Hey, were you really trying to kill me in my dream? And what was that about? Ask her some other questions. You got the spirit, this embodiment of the first Slayer spirit, and you're like, can I love again? It's like, ask about Slayers.
Am I ever going to get another boyfriend?
So you've been dead for centuries. Is my mom going to be all right? Like, there's so many questions. Yeah.
So after Spike's been taken away, the Buffybot emerges from the basement, and she's like, hey, I was waiting for a while, Spike, and I know that I said that I wouldn't come out until you asked me, but I'm going against my programming here, and
apparently you can do that.
Yeah. And I don't see you, so I'm gonna go out looking for you. And then we get a little shot of Xander knocked out in the corner.
I mean, Xander's out cold, man.
I literally was watching a TikTok today about like stuff in action movies that isn't real in real life and all that shit. And like, it was a list of 10 of them. And I would say that Buffy the Vampire Slayer utilizes like 9 of them. And one of them is like, if you're knocked unconscious for any amount of time, go to the hospital. Like, you've done serious brain damage.
When I was in college, I was writing like this action comedy script, and the guy would constantly get knocked out. And it was like a funny running gag, you know, kind of like how Giles is. And even in this, they bring up, Cordelia calls out Giles, like, you're going to have brain damage or something. You get knocked out so much. And I just remember the teacher was like, you know, if you get knocked out, like, you don't just come to anymore. Like, you're like woozy and out of it. Like, it's not a seamless transition to like knocked out, wake up, knocked out, wake up.
Yeah, I saw there was another TikTok where it was like, if action movies were realistic, and it was a guy that got quote like knocked out, And then like 30 seconds later, he wakes up. And the guy's like, oh shit, we were transporting you to another place. You're supposed to be knocked out for longer. Like, I thought you just get knocked out for hours if you get knocked out. And the guy's like, no. If you're knocked out for hours and getting transported and all that shit.
Yeah. They do knock people out and then they're like waking up and they're like in Bolivia. And you're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
I those are like fun to nitpick, but like I don't mind those people getting knocked out. It's just too funny. It's just too funny.
When you like know the real life
Yeah.
ramifications of all that stuff, like, yeah, that's just a trope.
Yeah.
I can live with that
Yeah.
kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But
it is fun.
It was funny.
Yeah.
It was funny. I was watching a TikTok literally like today about that. And then we're talking about Xander knocked out for like 15, 20 minutes maybe, I guess.
Yeah. Buffy started a TV tropes thing. So
yeah. So Robot Buffy goes to Xander's apartment.
Buffybot.
Damn it. I've been going back and forth between both of those names. Buffybot goes to Xander's apartment and meets up with Willow on the patio / balcony. And Willow does like, hey, I heard some crazy stuff about you and Spike. Is that true? And Buffybot's like, yeah, it is. And Willow's like, geez, Buffy, I don't know if that's really the best idea. Like, for you, are you sleeping with Spike? And Buffybot's like, no, I'm not sleeping with him. I'm having sex with him. Like a lot, in a lot of different ways, in a lot of different positions. And Willow's like, oh, Buffy, no, don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't do it, Bobby. Don't do it. I think we forgot to bring up that we get to see her programming from inside her POV, and her programming is like information she has on each person.
Yeah.
And like, and Anya is like, Xander's girlfriend likes money, works at magic shop. And then like when she sees Anya, she's like, hey Anya, how's your money? And Anya grins. She's like, good, thanks for asking. Like, it's such a funny
I forgot
joke.
about that.
Xander's like carpenter, like,
yeah,
and Willow's like best friend witch,
gay as of
1999 to
present or whatever.
I just want to see Warren programming this. I could watch a whole episode of him like, wow, I didn't even know Willow was gay now. Okay.
Yeah, I love that. Like, I think that Willow is like, I'm just worried about you, Buffy. Like, I don't think you should be doing this. And Buffybot's like, I know you're worried about me because you're my best friend. And Willow's like, yeah, I am. And Buffybot goes, and you're recently gay. And Willow's like, yeah.
But you're a witch.
Okay. Yeah. And then so Willow says something about like, look, I know that you've hooked up with vampires before, but like, this is different. This is Spike. And then Buffybot's like, oh, you mean Angel? Angel was lame and his hair grows straight up and out and I don't like him and he's lame.
The exact quote that should have been a dead giveaway. She goes, Angel is bloody stupid. And I was like, Spike wrote that.
Yeah.
It's no way. Buffy has never used the word bloody to describe anything.
Yeah. Also, I gotta say, in this episode, I know that they can't say fucking, but they make Spike say sodding and sod like so many times.
Yeah, that's British.
I've never heard anyone say like sodding. Like, oh, get the sodding map or whatever.
Oh, just like more like sod off. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard like sod off or whatever. But like if he kept saying bloody, like bloody I can accept, but sodding, like
even
but anyway.
Even Giles says bloody. Like bloody hell. Like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So yeah, I love that. I love that moment where Buffybot's like, and you're recently gay. And Willow's like, yeah. Like how did they figured out that April was a robot like in 2 seconds.
My note literally says, I'm gonna read verbatim, which I wrote down. How are they able to tell April was a robot, but can't tell Buffy, someone they know, someone who has switched bodies with a person before, is not herself? Remember when Tara was like, Tara had never met Buffy and was like, something's wrong with that girl.
I can tell her spirit energy is
Yes.
off.
I feel like another spirit is in her body. Her souls have switched places. Yeah. It was so weird because they just knew April was a robot, like one line, with no context of who this girl was.
I guess they're trying to like chalk it up to like, hey, Buffy's been going through some shit.
Yeah.
But like they don't know what April's going through, and they were like, she's a robot.
Yeah, right.
We all agree, right?
Well, I guess they did see her pick up a vampire and throw him out the window, so that physically would add to it.
I mean, I feel like they thought that she was a robot before, but then she
they meet up after the throwing out, after she throws Buffy. Yeah, that's when they all agree that she's a robot.
I think that they were suspicious of it before because Anya and Willow talk about how weird she was talking, and she's talking about that to Xander, and they're like, "Oh yeah, this is weird. She's a little weird. She speaks like in this staccato way." And then they see him, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, robot confirmed."
Yeah, it's robot confirmed. Once she threw Buffy and threw Spike, then it was robot confirmed. So at least they need to see the physical power to like confirm it. But Buffy already has power, so if she throws someone, they're not going to think she's a robot. But the language is, yeah.
So then Xander eventually returns to his apartment, and he's like, you guys aren't going to believe what just happened, all right? I was at Spike's place, and we got beat up, and Spike got taken away by the Jinxes, Glory's little minion boys, and they're taking him to Glory. And Buffybot is like, they took my Spike? Where did they take him? Where does Glory live? And Xander's like, I don't know. But we gotta gather up some weapons because Glory is no walk in the park to fight.
And weapons seem like they'll help, even though they've never helped once. And we never grab weapons when we go on patrol. But they have
you fought Glory with weapons before in the hospital and got handled.
Yeah,
Buffy's fought Glory alone, got handled with all of you, got handled like. Whatever. Just chalk it up to Spike being a lost cause at that.
No, they have to get him. They have to get him because he could tell about Dawn. So and they think he'll just give her up.
So they're like, all right, Xander, Anya, Willow, Buffybot. We're all going to go get some weapons to fight. Tara, you cool to chill with Dawn? Tara's like woken up from her sleeping bag in a stupor, like, yeah, sure, whatever. Yeah, I'm not going to go right back to sleep.
My favorite thing about this scene is Xander comes in after being knocked out most of the night. Anya was fast asleep on the couch. She gets up and she's like, oh my God, Xander, we were so worried about you. I was like, you were sleeping. You weren't staying up. That's not the sign of someone that's worried.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff. So then we go back to Buffy with the first Slayer. And Buffy's like, what do you mean? You said that I'm full of love. I'm so full of love that it's blinding. Like, what are you talking about? What's this gift that I have? And the first Slayer says, death is your gift. And Buffy's like, death is not a gift. I just went through some death stuff. And it is not fun, and it is not a gift. And the first Slayer says, hey, dude, your question's been answered. All right, I don't know what the fuck you want from me. I'm leaving. I'm out. Deuces.
Avenge Kendra's death. Don't let her killer walk free. Buffy's seen so many people die, and I know the mom is the closest one, but my gosh, that she should be jaded already.
So with the death being the Slayer's gift, do you think that it is Buffy killing all of these people is the gift and protecting people, or do you think it's the gift that Buffy is going to die, like Spike was saying, they have a death wish?
Yeah, I think it's Buffy dying.
Dang. That's tough. That's going to be the sweet release.
Which is, yeah. It's weird that it's said as a gift. It's like, well, what was my life then? That was a curse.
Yeah. Is there in Angel, there's like a prophecy and all this stuff?
Mm-hmm. Well, there was a prophecy. She's a prophecy girl.
Oh, yeah, true.
And
All
Buffy, I've noted this. Buffy's already died already.
Yeah. She's come back. She's Jesus.
Yeah. She is the crucifix. All she has to do is put her arms out, and vampires can't touch her.
Oh, man. I do love that the first Slayer is like, what do you want from me, dude? I answered your question. There you go.
Yeah, she's like, I'm gonna. I
Sorry,
never
didn't
liked
like
you.
it.
I never liked you. I don't like your friends.
It's not my fault you don't like it. I answered your question.
Yeah.
I did my job.
Go back,
Later.
Go back to Giles. He's drinking tea on his car all night.
So then we go to the Jinxes bringing Spike to Glory. And they're like, Glory, guess freaking what, dude? This guy right here, he's the key. And Glory's like, what? And they're like, yeah, he's the key. We got him. You gonna start giving us a little bit of respect around here or what? And Glory's like, hey, idiots. He is not the key. This is a vampire. You brought a vampire to me. And they're like, I mean, whatever. And then Glory's looking at Spike and she's like, God damn, like he's a fucking I can't even like melt his mind. Like this guy's useless. What? You brought me nothing.
But the Slayer, she protected him the most.
Protected him above all others. And then so Glory's like, interesting. Well, maybe you're not so worthless after all. Let me punch you across the room right quick.
That uppercut was amazing. Him hitting that wall and that wall collapsing and the way he dropped, it was great. Glory had so much power.
Yeah. Glory is scary.
Yeah.
And this is her with lessened powers, as we remember from like a couple episodes ago.
Yeah, I mean, if she was full powered, like you can't beat a demon god in some place unless you're Angel or Buffy and you go to hell and you can just fight demons in hell and it's really easy because they don't have a home field advantage.
Super easy. Barely an inconvenience.
Yep.
So then Glory picks Spike up and just throws him on the bed, and then she starts riding him. I was like, damn, Spike.
When that happened, I was like, is she going to have sex with him? And then he's going to like be like, I don't know. Maybe this real demon girl is better than the robot Buffy I created. They keep doing that with her, where she's very, it's all like.
She uses her sexualness and great dressing to her advantage.
Now, I wanted this to happen, and I knew it wouldn't. But I was like, what happens if this is the moment Dr. Intern Ben transfers into? Like, I don't know what the turning points are.
Oh my God, that would have been hilarious. He turns into Ben. He's like, oh, gee, oh God. Oh.
Like, Spike's reaction would be amazing.
Oh my God, that would have been hilarious.
And I was like, please happen.
He's like, oh, it's about time for me to get on the clock. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Like,
Glory, what are you doing?
Does Ben go like, oh, I need to be at the hospital at 8 p.m., so I'm going to swap bodies? Like, what is this?
Yeah, I just don't know. Like, why would Glory listen to him? Like, she hates him. He's like, hey, I got a job, though.
I'm telling you, they have to go in the middle and have, like, a calendar system.
It's got to be, like, an involuntary thing or something, like, or Glory has to switch with him in order to keep the body alive in the human world.
It seems like if she doesn't feed, he would die too, since they share the body. But he doesn't want to kill the people, so he kind of needs her to do the dirty work, right?
Oh, okay, I can
right,
see
like
that.
because they share the same body. Like he can't just. If it was just him, he's not like mind sucking people. So somebody has to mind suck.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But he doesn't want Glory to succeed, and he hates her.
He doesn't want to die, but he doesn't want her to get the key because they mentioned that they're exiled for some reason.
Oh,
yeah.
They were too bad for hell.
And where's this third person?
Yeah,
I thought
yet to see
that was my
person.
prediction. I thought we were going to get the third person this episode.
Oh, yeah, you're right. But yeah, instead of actually riding and banging Spike, she just starts torturing him. She like jams her finger into his chest. She's like, let's see if you got anything for me. And she just like, boom. And Spike is like, oh, fuck.
I was like, geez.
Yeah, that was pretty brutal.
Like, you could just start torturing people near Buffy. Like, yeah, just go for it. If you want this key so bad.
Yeah.
I would just want revenge against Willow for transporting me to the sky.
I was hoping that she could have like ripped out Spike's chip.
What is this weird thing in the back of your head? Snap.
Yeah. But anyway, so the Scooby Gang takes Buffybot to real Buffy's home. And they're looking through the weapons chest and they're like, oh shit, we're breaking out the big guns. This is like the real weapons. And Anya's like, why don't we have real guns?
Yeah, Anya.
Yep. And yeah, so they're like, well, we got all these weapons. We got to find out where Glory lives because Spike could sell out Dawn because Spike knows that Dawn's the key. And then Buffybot is like, okay, cool. What weapon should I get? And they're like, here, you can have that one. And maybe you should change your clothes because like this outfit's not really great for fighting. You got a little skirt on.
And I was like, I've seen her fight in like floor length chinchillas. Like she will fight in anything, like boots. She has never put on fighting gear.
Yeah. Except for when she's training with Giles.
Yeah, when she's training with Giles, she's in like sweats. Good Lord. Patrol.
So Buffybot
fully dressed.
Buffybot, it's like, all right, I'm going to go change. And so she goes upstairs. And the Scoobs are all talking. They're like, is Buffy acting weird? I feel like Buffy's acting kind of weird, right? And then as they're having this conversation about like, yeah, she is acting kind of weird, but like, we still got to support her. She's going through a lot, So then the real Buffy shows up.
They say we're going to do an intervention on Buffy.
Oh, you're right. So the real Buffy shows up in her, desert gear. And Xander's like, all right, we're having an intervention with you, Buffy. That was really quick. You changed really fast. But now that you're here, we're all a little concerned about you. We feel like you've been acting a little weird. And real Buffy is like, what are you guys talking about? I haven't seen you guys like all day. And they're like, no, you've been acting weird. And look, we don't think that you should be having sex with Spike. And real Buffy is like, what the fuck? And they're like, yeah, we saw you having sex with Spike. And Buffy's like, no, you fucking did not. Because I've been in the desert all day, dude.
Yeah.
And Xander's like, no, it wasn't just me. Like, Anya, you saw it too, right? And Anya's like, yeah, we saw you having sex with Spike. And we were like, what the fuck's going on? And just as they're explaining this, Buffybot returns. And then it's a whole, what the fuck is this? And real Buffy is like, yeah, this is a robot, dude. This is obviously a robot.
Which I loved. She's like, this is a robot. You can't tell me apart from a robot?
Yeah.
And then
like, I mean, we thought that you were going through some stuff. You've been acting a little weird. You've been acting strange. I was like, are you kidding me, dude?
I love Xander's like, I get it. They're both Buffy.
Yeah.
I do love that Buffy comes in and that she immediately asks where Dawn is. Paying off that. Yeah, it's good. It's really fun, and you can see the difference between the two of them. Like, Sarah Michelle Gellar's acting is like so perfect in both of these.
There is a clear difference.
Yeah, and it pays
in the
off
way that
at
they're
the end.
acting.
Yeah, I thought because we saw April, I thought when Buffy goes, because at the scene she goes, I need to kill Spike because they talk about like Dawn and he's got Dawn. Yeah. I'm worried about that. We need to go. She's like, I gotta kill Spike. I thought the Buffybot was going to be like, no, you're not, and they were going to fight.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I
thought that was going to happen so much all throughout this episode because they openly talk about like we're killing Spike.
Yeah, and she doesn't even have a line where she's like, don't do that. Like she just. Yeah. And I get they didn't want to, one, budget wise, having like the stunt doubles fighting each other. Mm-hmm. They've done it before. It's fine.
Do a lot of over the shoulder shots.
Yeah,
with the wig.
Yeah. I get it, and plus you just had that like a couple episodes ago where robot love fight, but you can't just say I'm going to kill your boyfriend with the love bot, and it's nothing.
Yeah. I mean, Buffy should have learned from the last time this happened. Like, don't talk about killing the robots because then you're going to have to fight the robot.
Yeah.
Luckily, this robot's a lot more docile towards death threats.
Katrina wasn't so lucky.
I do like that Buffy shows up. And obviously, there's a robot. Like, you guys couldn't figure that out?
Like, how good is the skin and the texture?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess nobody touches Buffybot.
I don't care about touching. Just looking. Like, what
doesn't
rubber
somebody
latex?
say, like, oh, yeah, this is kind of, like, shiny or plasticky?
Spike does it. So when he first meets her, she's like, she still looks a little plasticky.
Yeah. But yeah, so the Buffybot tells real Buffy that, hey, Glory took Spike, and we all need to go to rescue him. And real Buffy's like, yeah, sure, rescue him. Wink, wink, wink. Gonna rescue him. So then we go to Spike, and he is strung up. He's chained up, hanging from the ceiling, and Glory's just like torturing the shit out of him.
Yeah.
And she's like, tell me who the key is. All right. I know you know something, and you're going to tell me, or I'm going to keep torturing you.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
So Buffy takes the new, like, Scooby gang with Robo Buffy.
Buffybot.
God damn it. With Buffybot.
Yes, I knew. I was like, he's going to get mad at himself.
Real Buffy takes them all to where the snake took her. Because the snake from several episodes ago was trying to convey to Glory what he found, and he found the key, and it was Dawn, and Buffy followed him. I was like, I knew that this was going to come back into play.
I love that he never thought about utilizing that at any point.
Yeah, I guess they didn't think that they needed to until...
They didn't think they needed to figure out where the thing that's attacking them lives.
Yeah. But yeah, so they're in the field where Buffy killed that giant snake. Buffybot can't pronounce Giles' name, calls him Giles, like we did in the very first episode of this podcast.
See? That's what I was saying.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay.
You literally just said You're like, you're going to have to remind me.
It's hilarious, the drop-off from, like, the first episode of this podcast is the most listened to episode of the podcast.
I think it's,
and I feel
just because it's the first.
Yeah. I wonder if, like, how many people just were turned off immediately because we were saying Giles.
Yeah.
I know one of my friends started listening to it. She was like, oh, it pains me every time you guys say Giles.
We only did it for one episode.
Yeah. I mean, there's also people that are like, when are you guys going to start calling Joyce?
Or when are you going to figure out the vampire coming in the door rules?
Yeah,
which I will say,
rules.
The invitation rules don't get cleared up until later in the series.
They're a little spotty too.
Yeah.
But anyway. So
thanks for making it to this point, everyone.
Yes.
Thanks for sticking around.
90 something episodes in, yeah. But yeah, real Buffy is like, all right, plan is we're gonna figure out where Glory is and where she's holding Spike, and we're gonna kill Spike. And Buffybot doesn't do anything again.
Yeah, it's like not even a line or something.
Not only does she not do anything, they're like, hey, Giles, stay out here in the field with Buffybot. Keep an eye on her. We're all going to split up and try and figure out where Glory is.
That building is huge, too.
Yeah, like, where are they going to knock on every door? It's like a 100 apartment building.
Yeah, it's like something Angel would have.
Yeah. Patreon.com/Boys Watching Buffy to listen to Boys Watching Angel. So then we go back to Glory torturing Spike, and she's like, you better fucking start talking, because this is just the beginning of your torture, my friend. And Spike's like, all right, I'll talk. I'll tell you who the key is. And Glory's like, finally, all right, who's the key? Spike goes, it's that guy on TV. And Glory's like, what? What guy on TV? Spike's like, that guy on TV, He hosts a show where people try and guess the prices of stuff. And then one of the Jinxes is like, are you talking about the prices right? You mean Bob Barker? Bob Barker's the key? And Spike's like, yep, Bob Barker. And then the Jinxes are like, we found the key.
They're so dumb.
We got him. We got the key, Glory. It's Bob Barker. And Glory's like, it's not Bob Barker, you idiots. And they're like, damn it. I wish it was Bob Barker. We could easily get Bob Barker.
Yeah, I would have loved if they got Bob Barker.
Yeah, just drag Bob Barker in.
Because he was in Happy Gilmore.
Yeah.
Which is a great scene in Happy Gilmore. So it would have been funny if they just dragged Bob Barker in. He's like, they like, oh, you can leave. He's like, spay and neuter your pets. Just
yeah. Oh man, what a goat.
Yeah.
Is he still alive?
I think so.
Damn.
I don't know. I'll check.
He's got to be like 90. Jeez, because he retired like 10 years ago.
Is Drew Carey still hosting that show?
Yeah. I like Drew Carey.
Wow, Bob Barker is 99 years old.
And he's still alive.
Yep.
Hell yeah. Right on, dude. But yeah, after they figure out he's not Bob Barker, you idiots. Spike, she like tortures Spike a little bit more, and Spike's like, I'm never gonna tell you anything about the key. And Glory's like, well, great. Come all this way to find the key out of my hell dimension from the place where I reign up from, and I am a hell god. And Spike's like, you're a hell god? What are you, the god of bad home perms? And Glory's like, hey, watch it. And Spike's like, what are you, the god of whorish fashion rejects? And she's like, that's absolutely enough out of you. And I was like, hey, yeah, that is enough. That's going a little far, buddy.
You can dish out the fashion critiques, but you can't take them.
She's been the reigning champ of the Fashion Report / Corner.
It's a good plan by Spike, though.
It is, until he gets legitimately kicked out of the apartment. Literally, kicks him.
That's his plan.
Oh, to get
yeah. He's trying to. You didn't get that? Like they show the chain, and he's trying to break out of it, and he's loosening his shackles up, and now he's pissing her off so that she will hit him like she did the uppercut and knock him across the room.
I thought it was just kind of like a happy accident, and he's like, "Oh,
no,
shit.
no."
Well,
and he also says, "Great plan, Spike." After he's crawling away.
All right.
Yeah.
So she kicks him out of the apartment, and Spike's like, "Hell yeah, now I can escape." He starts like limping down the apartment hallway, going for an elevator. The elevator closes just in the nick of time to slam in his face, kind of.
Who's taking an elevator? Who's in this building?
Right?
I was wondering that.
Who's seeing a man fly out of the apartment that they're just like, they're clicking the elevator close door button.
or it's going down to someone else's floor or something.
But the door was open.
Yeah.
That means that someone
got out.
In
someone
there.
Got out, probably.
Or somebody got out. Okay.
That's how elevators work.
So Spike pulls open the elevator door and just falls down the elevator shaft, slams on the top of an elevator.
Yeah.
And the Jinxes are kind of like chasing after him, and they see him fall down the elevator shaft and like, fuck, all right, we got to take the stairs. God damn it. So they start taking the stairs down to catch up with Spike, and they catch up with him just as the Scoobs arrive in the apartment building, and the Scoobies are all beating up the Jinxes. Buffybot sees Spike, who has somehow gotten into the elevator now.
He opens the top latch of the elevator. It's very set built, but then he opens the top latch, falls into the elevator.
Buffybot sees Spike. She goes to save Spike. There's a Jinx choking Giles. And he's like, somebody please help me.
Buffy. And then Buffy looks at him like, I'm not going to help you. And then Buffybot sees it.
Yeah.
And then she gets... Yeah, I didn't...
Dude, this was the most bullshit ever.
Yeah.
So Buffybot saves him, or both of the Buffys save him, I think.
No, it's just Buffybot, because she's near the elevator.
Just Buffybot?
Yeah.
Then Buffybot, like, falls into a wall and just, like, short circuits.
Yeah, the minion hits her. She hits the back wall, and then she's like, done. And I was like, no way this punch broke Robot Buffy. Like, you got to talk to Warren. Buffybot. It's no way. You got to talk to Warren, because, like, you got to
get some of your money back.
The quality, the quality was a little better on the April model. Granted, he probably had more time.
Yeah, he probably had a lot more time for the April model. He had a lot of time to perfect that one.
How was Spike threatening him, though?
Yeah, I don't know.
Spike can't hurt him.
Maybe he just showed him the vampire face.
I would have loved to have seen that. I would have loved to have seen him show vampire face. Because there's no way Warren knows.
Warren's just like, oh, shit.
Yeah, it's no way Warren knows that Spike is a vampire.
Yeah. And there's no way that he knows that he has a chip and he can't hurt him. So if he just, like, feigns.
Yeah.
And Spike has that whole thing of, like, if I throw a punch without the intent to hurt you, it doesn't hurt. The chip doesn't hurt me.
Whatever. Just show him vampire face. Warren's a coward. He would have done it.
Yeah. So anyway, Buffybot short circuits, and everyone's kind of like, oh, there's that. There's no, like, mourning Buffybot's death. There's no, like, morality question of, like, this was kind of sad. Did this Buffybot have intelligence? Is it a sentient being? They're just like, fuck that Buffybot, dude. That's creepy and weird.
There's no scene of Giles going over and closing her eyes with his fingers.
So the Jinxes report back to Glory, and Glory's like, where's the fucking vampire? And they're like, dude, you gotta realize vampire was strong, and then there was a lot of fucking people fighting us. There was 2 Buffy the Vampire Slayers. Shit got wild. And then Glory's like, oh, shit got wild? Shit's about to get even more wild. And then she starts torturing the Jinxes.
Yeah. I love the idea that they were like, oh, this is where Glory lives. We went to the lobby. We fought. And we left.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah, and Glory never leaves her apartment.
Yeah, she didn't take an elevator downstairs and be like, oh, all the people that might know where the key is are downstairs.
Mm-hmm. Hey, let's keep an eye on the Slayer. She knows where the key is. Let's do all this stuff to the Slayer. She knows where the key is. The Slayer is 6 stories below you right now. Let it go.
We just came really close and beat up a bunch of Glory's henchmen. Where should we go to hide out? Oh, the Magic Box, the shop that she walked into and bought stuff.
Yeah. So the Scoobs go back to the Magic Box, and it seems like it's just the girls. It's like Willow, Buffy, Tara, and Anya, and Willow's working on Buffybot. They're like, oh, I see where the problem is here. Yeah, there's some kind of internal frying here, and this is actually pretty easy to fix. It's like, what the fuck? Where did you learn this?
How did you guys carry her away?
Yeah. Again, how much do these robots weigh?
I guess Buffy's super strong. She just threw her over her shoulder and walked down the street with her. Threw her in the trunk of Giles' car. That would be amazing if Giles got pulled over with Buffybot in the trunk of his car.
So yeah, they're working on it. Willow knows how to fix it. Mm-hmm. Xander and Giles show up, and they're like, hey, what's up? What'd you do with Spike? And like, we dumped him back at his crypt.
Buffy's like, I hope you did some like stakeage. Like, she's like, I hope you killed him.
Yeah. Hope it was a very dusty encounter. Now, like, Spike is tortured and knocked out. And they're like, yeah, we just took him back to his crib. We felt kind of bad for the guy.
It was like the plot armor is just so thick.
Yeah. And Buffy's like, I mean, I'm a little concerned that Spike may have given Glory some info about Dawn being the key, you fucking morons. And Willow is like, oh, I found out where the problem is with Buffybot. I'm gonna fix it. And Then Xander has like I'm starting to kind of feel bad for the guy, for Spike.
I
He went
was
through all this trouble to get a Buffybot made, and like he's helplessly in love with you. It's just, this is tough times for him.
It's so hard. It's so hard with this because sometimes they just throw Xander some lines that are out of character. Like he's the one that confronted Spike to say, "Get away from Buffy."
Yes, he slammed him up against the wall like, "I'll fucking dust you right now."
Yeah,
and I was like, I kind of feel bad for him.
What? And even Giles is like, "Yeah, we didn't stake him, we just threw him back in there." Giles, you kept saying, "Stay the fuck away from Buffy." He made a Buffy sex bot. That should freak you the fuck out. You shouldn't be like, "Yeah, but I feel bad for him because he's a little beaten up." He's tried to kill you on multiple occasions.
Made a Buffy sex robot out of stuff that he stole from Buffy.
No, it was never made out of any stuff that he stole from Buffy. It is no way that wig.
I mean like the schematics of like all of the like pictures and stuff. He's like, "Hey, here's like." I'm just amazed at like I want to know the information that he gave to Warren.
Warren has to base that off of his meeting with Buffy, like for like that one short time, because the height exactly right, like the hair.
I would have loved if like there was something a little bit off about it, and Spike's like, she doesn't do that, and Warren's like, "I don't fucking know, dude. I've never met her." But he has met her, but like
something,
I met her one time.
Something that's not a 1-to-1 representation. Even if Buffy was like, "My nipples don't look like that."
She just has like a crooked nose or something. Spike's like, "What is this?" He's like, "Look, dude, fucking you made me do this in 2 weeks. What do you want from me?"
Give her bigger boobs. That's all I want. I hated Xander feeling bad for what?
Yeah.
And then it's all like, "Oh, we gotta know if he told Buffy says, "We gotta know if he told Glory anything about Dawn being the key. If so, we need to leave town." And I'm like, one, you dropped Spike off at his crypt, the place the minions know where it exists and have knocked you both out and kidnapped you from. 2, you're standing in the magic box and you're like, "Oh, we think we'll be fine." And I'm like, what are you guys talking about? Like, you guys need to be on a run now. She's still coming after the key. Glory exists. You saw Spike. He was beaten up, tortured. Like, Glory's not fucking around. Except she is fucking around.
Except she's totally fucking around.
But, like, get the fuck out of there. I don't know.
Yeah, and then Buffy says something about like, well, there's only, I gotta find out. There's got to be a way for me to find out what Spike told Glory or if he leaked any information to Glory. So then we cut to Spike at his crypt and he's all fucking beat up.
And I gotta say, vampires can get beat up and a little bloody for like they get sore and like need healing when they get hurt. Something we talked about in the Angel series. One of those episodes. I'm like, I think you're gonna be a little more hurt. Just a little more.
Yeah. I mean, no spoilers, but there's a part where Angel falls out of like a 20, 30 story building and then just gets up and he's like dusts off some glass.
Yeah. Takes a couple sledgehammers to the face.
Yeah. And Spike gets just punched by Glory and he's like, "I'm fucked all the way up, dude." Anyway. So he's all fucked up. He's sitting at his crypt and Buffybot shows up. And Buffybot's like, "Hey, Spike, I'm so glad that you're here." All chipper-like. And Spike is like, "Huh, I'm surprised that they let you live, Buffybot. Willow fixed you up. Wow, that's very nice of them."
The genius witch fixed you up.
Yeah. And Buffybot's like, "Hey, we should go and tell Glory where the key is. Because I don't want you to get hurt again. We should tell Glory where it is." And Spike's like, No. Don't fucking do that. Don't do that. Glory must never know anything about the key. And Buffybot's like, "What? Why?" And Spike's like, "Cause if Glory knows about the key, Glory's gonna kill Dawn, and that would just destroy Buffy, and I would rather die than see Buffy go through that kind of pain. Like, that would kill me. I'd rather let her kill me, and she nearly did. I'd rather have that happen than see Buffy go through that pain. And then so the Buffybot is like, "Oh, you're so sweet, Spike." And goes up and kisses Spike. And then Spike has this turn of the head, little head twitch moment where he pulls back and he looks at Buffybot, and Buffybot pulls away, takes off the facade of Buffybot with the smiley chipperness, and it's real Buffy just acting like Buffybot. And Spike's like, "Oh, holy shit. What? Okay. All right. What'd you do with my robot?" And Buffy turns around and she's like, "The robot was destroyed, Spike. All right. It was obscene and gross that you made a robot of me. The fuck." And Spike's like, "Okay, sorry about that. Yeah." And then he's like, "I'd let Glory destroy me first before he'd give up Dawn." And then Buffy says something like, "It was gross that you did that you made a Buffybot, and it was not real. And that's what you shouldn't want. You shouldn't want this unreal fabrication bullshit. But what you did for me and Dawn, that was real. And I won't forget it." And she walks off. And Spike's like, "So you're saying there's a chance?"
Yeah. What did you think when Buffy kissed him?
I was like, whoa, I like that plan. That was a good twist.
Wait, what do you mean?
I like Buffy's plan.
She didn't have to kiss him at that point, though.
She didn't.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I liked her plan of coming in there and pretending to be the bot and being like, "Oh, I'm going to tell Glory," and just getting the information. I thought it was a great way to get the information. But
it's a little jarring when she actually kisses him, because literally the scene before, she's like, "He's gross. I fucking hate him." Yeah. Xander's like, "I feel bad for him." She's like, "Don't feel bad for him. He's a piece of shit."
Yeah. And then he does a good deed. I get that. Like, it's one of those moments where you're like, wow, okay, he actually wasn't going to give me up. He said something nice about it. But it was like, did you have to reward him with a kiss for it after what he's been doing with the sex bot? And like, this is where Joyce should like come from the grave. She's like, "You're leading them on." "You're leading them on, Buffy."
Yeah, true.
Like, you don't have to give him a kiss. You could like smile at him. You could like do anything. But there it is.
Just take off the facade of the Buffybot and be like, "Thank you. That's all I needed to know."
Or like, she starts walking away. It's like, "Where are you going?" Yeah. Rip a 5 in half and give him half of it.
You have a nice, give him a 20. Give him a 20. Have a nice Jackson.
Hey, you know what, Spike? Do you want to like recuperate at our house instead of the place where they know that you are and they can come back to get you at any point?
You want to go back to Xander's basement?
Yeah. His parents don't even know that he's not down there.
That's the episode. That's where it ends. Anything else you got to say about intervention?
It's interesting that it wasn't a big intervention, but I did like the intervention moment, and I do like the reveal of when she shows up and they're telling her that she slept with Spike.
Yeah.
No, this is a good episode. It's a good episode. I like it.
Yeah, like I said, my only thing is like where it's placed. Like,
I'm kind of okay now that I think about the bookends, because it's weird because it's the sex bot, but then there's also the spirit guide journey in the middle of this. That is a great way to get Buffy out of town and kind of move the story forward, but also it's just like there. Yeah.
Next episode is titled Tough Love. I think the dad's coming back this time. "Yeah, so what? I didn't go to your mom's funeral. So what? I haven't been here to see if you're good. That's just tough love. I knew you girls are."
Oh, yeah, this is... Oh, you know what I think it's going to be? I think it's going to be Glory and Ben's parent.
Oh, you think that's the third person?
Yeah, I think it'll be the person that they're exiled, right?
Yeah.
Whoever exiled them is probably like a father mother figure thing.
Ooh, okay.
That's
Kind of
what I'm
like
going
Zeus with Hercules.
Sure, whatever you need to
How about
figure
the
it out.
gladiator, Hercules? Great movie. I think that might be my favorite Disney movie.
I don't remember anything from that movie.
Are you kidding me? He Can Go the Distance. That song is amazing. Not the Michael Bolton version. The actual singer in the movie's version.
Oh.
I will find my way. I can go the distance. Come on, Vance.
Yeah, sorry.
0 to hero, just like that.
I'm not a Disney adult. I'm sorry. I like Disney movies. I'm just not a Disney adult.
Oh, man. So yeah, that's a wrap for Intervention, everybody. Thanks for listening. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for all the stuff that you do for us. Really appreciate it. We got our Patreon, patreon.com/Boys Watching Buffy, where we do Boys Watching Angel, Boys Watching Movies, Joe's Fashion Report /Coroner. Check that shit out. Instagram @Boys Watching Buffy. Email boyswatchingbuffy@gmail.com. If you want to get your very own shout out. Apple Podcast 5-star rate and review. Spotify 5-star rating. Screenshot it. Send it to my DMs @JoeWelke. Amazon wishlist. Throne wishlist. That shit's in there. Join the Discord. Yeah. And stay tuned next time for when we talk about tough love.
Quite extraordinary, really.
Thank you. But I really think we should be listening to the other Buffy Giles. She's very smart, and she's going to help us save Spike.
Giles, Spike didn't even bother to program my name properly.
Seltzer Kings
Podcasts.